Welcome everybody to 1 hour of miniature goodness. I hope you're all well. Today we have a few little miniatures to plough through. I got some gorillas, demon, a wild boar, and we got a little owl bear. Okay, I'll say hello to chat. Hello Scorpla, Bull GM, Michelle, hello Michelle, Rod, and who else have we got there? And Rod and the Bull GM. Hello everybody. Okay, so we've got the gorillas. Let me show you a little 360 of our little gorillas. Let's get some focus in. There you go. Super easy paint today. What I've done, I've already put a little undercoat on, a little primer of dragon black. It's just a simple little, a nice little sculpts. And we got the boss gorilla as well. It's absolutely roasting today in Scotland. I wasn't sure if I was going to do a stream tonight because my workshop is facing the back of the house and the sun is pouring in. I got the windows closed, the curtains closed, but it's absolutely roasting in my room today. It's absolutely a nightmare. Hello, Nath. And we got one demon as well. Now we're going to do a little bit of wet blending on the demon. And we've got a little piggy as well. I think all these miniatures are from the Bones 4 Kickstarter, from that line of miniatures. Oh, Tal's in the house. Hello, Tal. Did you see my finished beholder I painted for you? The blue one? The blue one. Okay, I'm going to put some paint on the palette while you're all chatting away in there. I'm going to start with the gorillas. Awesome, awesome stuff. I'm glad you like him. Those beholders are absolutely beautiful miniatures. What I'm just going to fill up the palette with paint that I think I'm going to be using. Let's get the old warthog going. And we need, what else do we need? That's it, just grey and white for now. Okay, so we're going straight onto our little dry brush. We're going to use a big bad boy again to get the paint on. We've got a little tissue here. I'll move that across. And we'll just fly around these little gorillas. Now let's see if we've got enough focus. That's fine. So I'm just starting off with some grey, and I'm actually adding a little bit of white into the grey just to make it a little bit lighter. And it'll be a very, very light dry brush over the fur of the gorilla. A little bit stronger on the hands. You don't want it too heavy. We want to try and keep that black coming through. Let's go on to the next one. I can't believe how hot it is in my workshop tonight. Oof, oof. Went out on the Harley Davidson for a little spin over the weekend, only for 5 minutes, which was very nice in the nice warm weather. Now with this one we've got some nice armor, so we're keeping it black as well, because what we can do, we can just dry brush silver all over the metal areas. But what we'll do is we'll get all the dry brushing done on the fur, and then we can move on to those metal parts. Hi Gareth and Carlos. Hello Carlos. Okay, so let's go on to a nicer colour now. What we're going to do, I'm going to give my brush a wash, and then we're going to move to a smaller dry brush, and then start making the chest muscles on those gorillas look a bit nicer too. Okay, so we're just going down the dry brush into smaller size, and back into the grey, adding a little bit of white, and we just work our way across the chest. Grey ape, awesome stuff. Hi James McCoy. I was just saying, James, how hot it is today in Scotland. I'm absolutely roasting in my workshop today. It's way too hot for me. It's quite strange because we complain when it rains, we complain when it's winter, and we complain when it's summer. So when are we ever happy, huh? There's no in between. Must be good for all your spiders and all the pets though, with the heat, James. If you keep tropical animals, all this heat is probably good for them. I mean, I know I got a bearded dragon, and it's absolutely loving the hot weather. It's bathing on its rock in its little cage. Okay, let's get some. We got some Brains Pink here. Now, Brains Pink is fantastic for doing the gorilla's mouths. Yes, cheaper for heating as well. Oh yes, yes. Michelle is very moist to start the show today. It's very hot and humid and maybe a little bit moist. So we're just going to use this beautiful pink, and it works really well inside the gorilla's mouths. It's not too pink and it's not too red. It just looks really nice and very simple. Okay, while I'm doing my painting, if you guys want to type in, give me a mini, Claire will add you to my draw for tonight. So this is for all my patrons on a painted tier. Now I'm going to use some Agrax Earthshade over the gorillas for the fur, if I can find it. There we go. If you look at gorilla pictures, you'll find that even though the gorillas are black, you'll see that they've actually got a lot of brown in the photographs. So by adding this little bit of brown, not only are you getting some nice shade, it actually looks quite realistic to what the actual gorillas look like in the wild. So what we do is just add that ink wash all over. And then we can start working the ink wash. There we go. And again, we got my little special cotton buds. We can remove the excess. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Let's just let that one dry and move on to the next one. Again, just all over the fur, let that ink wash go into all the recesses. It's beautiful. It just brings out all that lovely fur effect. It's really nice. Remember, ink wash is your friend. because it's so hot as well in the old workshop, it makes it so much easier for me for painting. I can get a lot more done faster because the actual ink is drying faster, which is awesome. Give me a mini, give me a mini, give me a mini. What's that dog? Give me a mini, and there's a little bonny dog there. Okay, so as you can see, it's taken me, what, 10 minutes, and we've already got some fantastic looking quick gorillas. We've still got a bit of detail to put on extra, so we're only on the basics. But as you can see how simple it is to paint miniatures. I'll have a bit of fun. Let's just do the same on this one. We're going to just add that brown, and then we can add the silver, or chrome as we call it, to the gorilla's armor. Remember, when you're doing your ink washes, make sure to check for the pooling, because it can go into like the fingers. It will build up, and it does look awful if it looks if it's too much. I'll just double check. What will normally happen is, for a good example is here on the top there, just pull in. It's all gone now. You just remove excess. You just don't want too much. And of course I've missed a piece there. There we go. And while this ink wash is drying, we can move on to the next miniature. So there's our three little gorillas coming along very nicely. Right, now we'll do some wet blending on our demon. So for that we are using clotted red. I'm using this bright red from MSP Paints, Holly Berry, and we're going to have some white as well. So we're going to start with the darkest, which is our dark red. I want a free Mikey. Hello, Shank. Thank you so much, Renegade Shank, for the delicious cookies that arrived today. Absolutely couldn't have come at a better time. Because we love. I was going to say because we're fat gits. Because we love cookies. Yes, we do love our cookies. Okay, so what I want to show you is this demon. It's an absolutely beautiful miniature. I think it's been. I think these have been released now on the website. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember. But all these miniatures that I'm painting today, I just grabbed out of my Bones 4 Kickstarter box. So these are all from the Bones 4, but I'm not 100% sure. I know some of the gorillas are up on the website. I'm not sure about these demons. There might be, but they really are nice miniatures. Really are nice. Oh, excuse me. Hello, Mokai. Okay. By the way, all my Conan Conan Exiles fanboys and fangirls, you'll have to excuse my lack of playing the last few days. I've just started playing Ark again. They've just released a new update for Ark. So what I've done is I'm just going to level cap on Ark, and then I'll be back on Conan. I just wanted it on Steam, so I want to keep all my games on Steam. I had Ark before on the Epic Games site, but I want to try and keep all the games to Steam to keep it in one place. Now the idea with this today is we're going to just I'm going to put some of my tissue here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to start adding some lighter reds onto the tissue, and then we're going to take it away and start moving it down the wing. So I want the ends of the wings to be much brighter. So all we're doing is using the paint to our advantage and pulling the paint, and that dark paint goes into the lighter paint, and we start adding some white into the red, and then it gets lighter and lighter as it goes towards the ends of the wings. We're always going in the same direction with the paint, so we're pulling down add a little bit more white. There you go. And we're just making a nice little contrast on the wings, getting lighter and lighter, adding a bit more white, and then going to the tips of the wings, it'd be the lightest point, and going down. So you got a nice dark at the dark red going into the red, lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. And we do the same on the other side. Again, we're starting off with dark red, and then a little bit more red. Pulling the paint. I'm just using a rough big brush. You don't need to use your best brushes. You just get that paint on, and it works a treat. Absolutely works a treat. All we're doing is adding a little bit more white to the red and just making it go lighter and lighter, and then pulling it towards the ends of the wings. So the paint is doing all the work for you because it's still wet, and that's why it's called wet blending. And all we're doing is adding more white, and we're just pulling out, keeping it going, a bit more white, and to the tips. Boom, 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 boom. Awesome stuff. So we've got a lovely effect there. Now we got the dark in the middle, and we got a lovely contrast going around with the reds and the white. And we'll do the same on the front. Heavy red in the middle, we'll just start adding red. There you go. Then we just start adding that white to the dark red, and we slowly start bringing it up the wings. So again, add a little bit more white. And the last bit more white, and that's it. Beautiful. A little bit more white there, just at the bottom. The same on the other side. Bit more white. me just pull in that paint out. Quite tricky because it's behind the back of the beastie. And there we are. Absolutely fantastic to do the wings like so. Okay, give my brush a nice wash. Ew. Ew. Okay, so we'll start going around the actual body now, and we're going to keep it nice and dark for the main body. This is a fantastic red to use for your demons. I also like painting my demons in flesh colours, human flesh colours. I think they also look fab. Okay, so we've got a little bit of paint on there, and also on the leg. I'm going quite fast because I want to keep the paint wet. Like I told you, my room is very hot, so things are drying out super fast. But as a speed painter, that's actually a blessing for me. Okay, quickly wash my brush, and we're going to move to a smaller brush and start adding a little bit of detail to this demon. And again, we are going back into that red, and we're going to just start adding some nice white to that red, and we're going to just start applying that to the chest muscles, and the stomach muscles. Adding a little bit more white to the tops of each ab. This gives a reflection on the top, and it highlights the abdominal muscles. Like it is so. And we do the same on the chest. We go almost pure white, and this just gives a nice little reflection of the chest muscles on both sides. The pecs. I used to have pecs, now I've got man boobs. Man boobs. And again, we're going to do the same on the top of the head. First, we're going to just lighten it off a little bit. Start adding some white. And that'll be our reflection coming from the top of the head. And that's it. And also the biceps here, actually a bit more darker. Just add a little bit more red, and we'll just take off the top of the biceps here, and on this side as well. There we are. Just blend that into the back. Same on the other side. And already the actual body is starting to take shape beautifully. Can you hear my fans on my PC? My fans are kicking in because it's so hot in my room. Okay, so that's some of the skin done on this one. Let's move back to the gorilla before we got time, before we have to finish. Okay, we're going back to our gorillas. Gorillas are great. Right, for the gorillas, I am just going to dry brush some nice silver. This is some Model Air by Vallejo. It's a very nice silver paint, which is fantastic, I find, for dry brushing. As you paint over the years, and you start collecting all the different paints, you'll learn which are your favorite types of paints. You're not going to always stick with one company's paints. You'll always find a nice color that you like from each company. It's just a natural way of collecting. There's always better paints on the other side of the road, as they say, like with the grass. But I like to have my favorites, and this is probably one of my favorites for adding like a chain mail and mail effects to my miniatures. It just works really well for me. And I just go over the metal heavy with this color. Okay, and we can go over the sword. Thank you for the cheer. Okay, super simple. That's all we need to do for that one. Wash my brush, make sure. Also, a little tip, most of you will know this, but always have a separate water pot for when you're washing your metallics, because what will happen is the metallics will float into the water, and it can actually make quite a mess of your brushes, and you'll get flecks of paint all over your miniature if you wash your metallics in the same paint pot as what you do with the other brushes. Oh, I can't speak again tonight. Okay, right, let's move on then. Teeth and eyeballs for the gorillas. Okay, so for the teeth for the gorillas, we shall be going with... Where is my skeleton bone? Graveyard bone. No, we don't want graveyard bone. I had something here. Where's it gone? Okay, we got the silver green. That's cool. That's perfect. There we go. Okay, small brush, and we'll start doing the teeth. Very simply, all we do is go over all the teeth. Bum 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 bum. That's our little teeth done. Same with this one. Oh, this one's teeth is a little bit. It isn't. What we can do, if you got teeth that are all stuck together, the best way to paint teeth very fast is just go over the whole set of teeth, like I'm doing here, if they're not separate, and then you can go over with an ink wash, and the ink wash will pick out every tiny little line, and it will really make those teeth pop. So all we're doing is going along with our brush, just adding that paint, and we'll let that dry, add a brown ink wash, and we're done. Thank you for subscribing. Okay, we just go on to here. I can't hear any of my notifications anymore. I think I've turned, because I don't have background music now, I turned the sound off or something, so I can't hear if I get notified. We're doing the same with this one as well. We're just painting those teeth in. We'll go over with that brown ink wash, and that'll make everything pop. And it'll be really, really nice. Okay, so that's those little teeth done. I think what we'll do is we'll finish off these gorillas today. So what we'll do is we'll carry on with the gorillas, and we'll get these based and finished up. So what we're doing with the eyes for the gorillas, now we're going to use some dragon white for the eyes. Now gorillas' eyes are super simple to paint because they are roughly black. They are roughly they got big black eyes, big beautiful big black eyes. So all you need to do with the eyes is you still want to add that white for the background, for the back of the eye, but you don't have to worry about the eye itself, because once you've added the black, it all comes together and looks fab. The main part is getting the whites in for the background. It's very simple. Every time you go in to paint the pupils, just hold your breath and you're in and out before you even know it. There we go. Eye done. Eye done. All we need to do is let them dry for 5 seconds, then we can go back to the black. Woohoo! Choo choo! Choo choo! Right, we got some nun oil. I'm going to use the nun oil over that silver now that I've just done. Actually, I will finish off. He's got a metal around his forehead there, so we'll just quickly paint that in. It's all the way around. My PC sounds like it's going to explode. The fan is going at 1,000 miles an hour. So it's quite nerve-wracking at the minute. Okay. Right, so we want brown on the teeth, and we want black for the pupils. So we are going back with our dragon black. Now dragon black is my favourite black from any company. It's black. Thank you for subscribing. But it is my favourite black. It's just the perfect consistency, should I say then. definitely, if you want your colours, you got the dragon black. We got it just works perfect for what we need, and it also works well in an airbrush, by the way, just to give you a little heads up. Right, what I'm using these Green Stuff World number zeros. This is a zero brush for doing pupils and eyes. Now, as most of you know who's been watching my streams, I did a review of these Green Stuff World synthetic brushes, and they're like £14 for 4 brushes, which is even cheaper than Army Painter. And I have to say, I am so impressed with these brushes. It just proves you don't need the most expensive brushes to get the job done. So far, these have been absolutely a joy to paint with. And I'm not sponsored by Green Stuff World or anything, so I'm just telling you the truth here. For the price, absolutely fantastic. And you all know how much I love Army Painter brushes, so it says a lot when a cheaper brush is kicking ass. Right, so as you can see, we've got the gorilla's eyes. All we're going to do is add a black blob in the middle. Bum done. Bum done. Now, as you can see, with the eyes, all you need is the most slightest of white on his eye there. You see, it's just there, just the tiniest of white showing behind the gorilla, because that's how gorilla's eyes look. And again, it should look better on this one because the eyes are... So all we're doing, a big blob of black. Let's get that paint in. We want the biggest black possible. We don't want a tiny little spot. We want that whole eye fixed with just a little bit of white on the sides, just showing through. Perfect. There you go. Let me show you some focus. Let me show you some focus. Ah! Ah, okay. Let's go back again. Thank you so much for the hype train, everybody. Awesome people, awesome people. Okay, last eyeballs. And again, nice big eyes. No tiny little eyes. You want to fill up that as much as possible, but just by leaving a little bit of white. Thank you for subscribing. Okay, good. Who's been the lovely person gifting people subs? Wow. Did someone just do a 10,000 cheer? That's just crazy. Right, okay, we're going to... I'm more interested watching what's going on in chat now. What are you doing? What's going on? Right, okay, we're going to finish off these gorillas. We need some black and some brown ink wash. Oh. Okay, for this now we are just going to... Remember I told you earlier about those teeth? what we can do is just add, this is the black one, we need the brown one. What we just need to do is add a little bit of that brown ink wash across the teeth, and what will happen is, let me see if I can get some more focus. There we go. That ink wash should go into all the recesses of the teeth and just make them pop a little bit better. There we go. Same with this one. Now remember, ink wash, some people hate ink wash and they think because you use an ink wash you're not really a painter. Well, who cares what people think? If you're who gives a monkeys? If you're getting a great looking miniature for your tabletop by using ink wash, then use your ink wash, because I think these look fab, and look, it's not even taking me an hour to do these 3 miniatures. So if ink wash works, then, you know, use ink wash. I mean, we're doing this for tabletop quality, for playing our games. I mean, if you're doing a show quality miniature, then of course you're going to be spending days and days and days, in weeks, months. I know a few people that spend months on show quality miniatures, but that's not what I'm about. I'm about getting our miniatures ready, yeah, for the tabletop. Exactly, thank you, Gareth. There's too many miniature painters out there that take it all way too serious, way too serious. And some I do understand, but there's a lot of people out there that have kind of lost what it's all about. It's a hobby, it's a bit of fun, and we need to remember that. Okay, I'm just going to add this black ink wash all over that silver area now. There we go. Let's go over the sword a little bit. Now we can start removing a bit of that black ink wash. I think the key as well with using ink washes is not just plastering it on, working the ink wash, making the ink wash work for you, letting it go into all those recesses, and then you can remove the ink wash and you can actually make fantastic highlights with minimal effort. And at the end of the day, we all want to get our armies painted fast, but we also want good looking miniatures on our tabletop. We don't want super messy tabletop miniatures. We want them to at least a decent quality to look great on the tabletop. Wow, level 3. Okay, so we're just removing that ink wash on the highest areas. It's almost like a dry brush, where we just go into the highest areas and removing what we've just added. And what happens is you get a natural shine without doing anything. What we've done, all we've done is removed that ink wash, but it's given a lovely effect. And this is why I do love the ink washes so much, because you can do so much. I mean, this miniature looks fab, absolutely fab. I mean, and I've done hardly anything to it. It's super simple. You can all do this, all of you. Put myself out of business. Choo choo, choo choo. Okay, right, last little bit. Right, what time are we on? Okay, we've got 10 minutes. I'll just quickly base up the miniatures, just to show you the 3 gorillas based up. As you know, what I do for my bases, it's just PVA glue. There we go. Let me get this out of the way. So all we need is a little pot. As you all know, I use... well, let me have a little drinky. As you all know, I always like to reuse all my plastics. I don't like to ruin the planet, as they say, so I try to reuse everything, recycle everything if possible. So all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to show you the little gorillas and how simple it is to add cool bases. So I got some, this is the old cheap PVA glue from the old craft shops or the pound shops. You can get it everywhere. Now, I don't spend a lot of money on, well, I do spend a lot of money on basing materials, but I also get a lot of stuff from the beaches to save myself money. And it also makes the hobby so much fun when you can go out on your motorbike and go to the beach and you can pick up all the lovely things. You can get sand, little stones. By the way, these are Base Boss. These are from MSP, from Reaper Miniatures. These are their Base Boss bases, which I absolutely adore. So all I'm going to do is start adding some glue and pushing it around the base. Super fast and easy, as always. It's just a miniature that hasn't been based is not finished. If you don't base your miniatures, then that's up to you, but you're missing out on something really special if you base your own miniatures. And I've said it a million times, it brings your own personality into the miniature, adding little bits of flocking and grass, little rocks, little bits of scenery here and there. Now, I'm not going over the whole base, I'm just working around the miniature, because all I'm doing is adding sand. And once the sand is dried, of course, then I shall paint over the sand, highlight the sand, add flocking. But I just wanted to show you how simple it is to quickly base up your miniature. So we've got the 3 bases there with the sand on. And I got a huge, great big basing tub. There we go. Now I have to keep this basing tub away from my cats. Because my cats don't see it as a basing tub. They see it as something else, and I think you all know exactly what I'm talking about. So what we do here is we get some of this beautiful sand and we just use our thumb then. Just use our thumb and we just take it off around the rim of the base, because that's what another thing that's most important. And I see a lot of people doing this, where what will happen is they will add the sand and the gravel to their miniature, but what happens is you'll see that a lot of people will leave bits of the sand and not cleaned up around the rim, and to me it looks a bit messy. So just clean off the rim like I've done. See like here, some people will leave that, but if you remove it, I'm just trying to do it into camera, sorry, just remove that part there. It really tidies up that miniature once it's painted, and of course it doesn't look like an eyesore. It's just a simple little thing. It's just a couple of seconds longer, but it does make a big difference just to tidy up the bottom of the base, just like so. Just keep the base nice and tidy, and then you can paint over and the rim's nice and tidy, and it makes a huge difference when you finish that miniature. There we are. Yeah, perfect. So there's our 3 little bases all done up with our sand. Okay, so there we are. Nothing more I can do on these today. But so far, these are our little gorillas from today. Very simple, easy paint. Of course, when I do the YouTube video, I'll show you the completed and finished miniatures, because I'll paint all the base and do everything else. So I hope you all had a lovely time. Thank you so much, everybody, for the hype train, and thank you everybody for popping on. All the free prizes, I can see people are asking about the free prizes. Now, the free prizes, I'm afraid, are for my patrons that are on a painted tier on my patronage, and the reason I do that is because the postal costs are so expensive. I can't afford to just give away prizes. Everybody that's on a painted tier on my patron, they get miniatures sent to them all the time, so it's very simple for me to just add an extra miniature to their boxes. So I do apologize. I do apologize if you wanted to enter for a miniature, and I hope it doesn't put you off ever watching the channel again. So I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. Thank you all so much for such a wonderful evening together, and I shall be back on what are we on again? Oh goodness, what are we on? Thursday. I will be back on Thursday, and we'll be back doing our WizKids miniatures on Thursday. So love to every single one of you, and I will see you soon. You take care, everyone.